And now, Deborah Kobylt live.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for joining our show today on Deborah Kobylt Live. And I'm thrilled to introduce to you Staff Sergeant Bobby Henline and filmmaker Nony Geffen. Thanks, both of you, for joining us. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Now, Nony, you're calling us from Israel, right? You gotta love this Zoom stuff. And Bobby, you are in a car on your way somewhere, right? Massachusetts, or where are you?
Yeah, I'm in the car in Virginia at the gas station on my way to Massachusetts. You got
I
it.
love it.
Outside.
And now you are a performer, you do comedy, and that's how you two sort of met one another because Nony heard your performance and it really touched him. And now, of course, you are about to make a documentary on your life. And that's what I want to start with, actually, Bobby. Can you tell us a little bit about the film and about your life, please?
Yeah. So I'll go start where, with my life, what happened. I'll explain these disabling good looks to you. So did 4 tours of Iraq in the Army. And during my 4th tour, my Humvee was blown up by a roadside bomb. I was the only survivor out of 5 guys in the Humvee. My head was actually burnt to the skull. They almost took away my left eye, decided to save it, which is why I'm wearing sunglasses now. My eyes work. Both have vision in them, but since I'm outside, they're sensitive to light. So that's why I got the cool man shades on today, which amazing. A question I get asked all the time is, how do I hold my sunglasses up? Luckily, I have a fat head.
Well, that's what I love about you. You have turned your situation into, I mean, it's not a funny situation, right? But in order to sort of get through what you've been through and in order to help other people, right? You're turning to the comedy in life, if you will. But it wasn't always that way, right? Talk to me about what it was like during the accident. Do you remember any of it? Do you remember rushing out of the Humvee, being on fire? Do you remember? No.
I actually don't remember anything that day. I remember having a cup of coffee that morning, and this happened in the evening around 5 o'clock. Next thing I knew, I woke up in San Antonio, Texas at the hospital. The story was being told to me what happened. I spent 6 months in the hospital. And then I pretty much prayed to God every night for over a year to take me. I had survivor's guilt. I felt like a burden to my family. I felt useless. I didn't know why I was alive. The doctor said medically I shouldn't be alive. But to deal with it all and let people know, that was my own battle inside. Outside, you wouldn't know that. I would joke around with the hospital staff. I joke around with my family and friends to kind of put them at ease. So I just used my sense of humor as a defensive mechanism and to also, just calm them down so they wouldn't be worried about certain situations. They go, oh, it's still Bobby. It's still him. Just to kind of diffuse them.
You say your family. Your family at the time you were married, you had children. Tell us.
Yeah. So I was married at that time. I had children. My oldest daughter was 15. And then I had two little brothers and sisters that were 8 and 9 when it happened. Of course, they're all grown adults now. I have 3 grandchildren. They call me Burnt Paw.
Oh my. But what was your lowest point, Bobby? Because even though you were joking a little with the staff and feeling awful on the inside and praying for God to take your life, what was the lowest point? It sounds like to me, actually, that could have been it. But I don't know.
That pretty much getting that first year, when you prayed to God, because it was a burden. My family had to take care of me. My children had to help me tie my shoes or walk so I didn't trip over something because I couldn't see. I couldn't really pick up my feet very well. Being the only survivor, I didn't understand that, the survivor's guilt. But I learned, one, I got my independence back. That helped. Once I started getting my independence back after 48 surgeries and I could drive again, I could take care of my children, then it was still the survivor's guilt thing and trying to figure that out and beat myself up over that, which a lot of veterans do. And so I share my story with them about not doing that, because you got to just put yourself in, if it's flipped and you weren't the one to make it home, what would you want for the ones that did? And of course, you'd want them to live their life to the fullest. That's what I'd want. I wouldn't want anybody wasting a life that they were given that they still have. And I know that's what they want for me. Their families tell me that. I keep in touch with them. So that helps push me through all that and got me motivated to live my life to the fullest and to chase my dreams.
Hmm. When you realized this happened to you and you were the only one to have survived, we hear a lot about survivor's guilt. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it was amazing. When I first learned, one of the guys in the Humvee, his family called the hospital while I was still inpatient to see how I was doing, and they want to know what they can do to help me. And I just that was huge. That made it hard for me, but just wow, what amazing people that hey, you know, we just lost our husband and our son and our brother, but we want to know how we can help you. So yeah, it's really tough times, you know, and that was the second time I signed up to go in the military. I first signed up at 17. I was in Desert Storm. Then I got out for 10 years. And after 9/11, I went back in the next month. So I knew what I was getting into. I'm the older guy and have these four younger men die that day. It just didn't make sense to why them and not me. We beat ourselves up over stuff like that way too much. We don't always know the answer why we're here. I think I'm very fortunate now that I realize I'm here to do my comedy. I'm here to share my story to help others. And by doing this documentary, we're going to be able to take it to the next level to reach more people. And there's just more people we can help.
Now, Nana, you're an accomplished filmmaker. Tell us the first time that you heard Bobby performing. Tell me a little bit about that moment. What was he doing at the time? Where was he? Tell us.
So I was living in back in New York, like back in that time, and I was, you know, find it to I find Bobby on YouTube, like after he have his performance in New York, because I missed it for some reason, and then I find some sketches on YouTube, and I'm like, who's that guy? And uh, and then I follow Bobby for some time till he till I got to him, and that how it like we build our relationship like step by step, and I think now we are like I feel like brothers, almost, even though Bobby is much prettier than me. Um, I, I I I believe Bobby is a hero, but not because of what he have done like back then. I believe that he's a hero because what he's doing right now.
Hmm.
And that's the message that I want to give to others, because I do believe that Bobby choose life at the end of the day, even if he's like, and obviously between Bobby and me there is a lot of dark jokes, and we are so we're gonna put it like also in the film itself that you can see the other aspect, but it's about to take the life that you got and what you have, and to choose to live it in the 100% and more. Because if Bobby can do that, you can do that, I can do that, because that's he actually show us that it's possible.
Tell us the name of the film. And I know it's a documentary, correct? And tell us, both of you just sort of chime in, or, you could step on each other. That's just fine. Tell us a little bit about the name of it. And what are you doing? Are you traveling with Bobby as he's performing comedy? Tell us about it.
Bobby, you can take it because
Yeah. But yeah, we can step on each other, just don't step on any landmines.
Please. You're quick. You are very quick. That was a good one.
And Nony didn't tell you, but he's also an Israeli war veteran, so he's been to combat stuff too, and he doesn't really talk about that much. But he's done some amazing things with his own life as far as the war goes. But yeah, will be following me around on his adventures, and like I'm heading right now. I'm on my way to talk to firefighters in Massachusetts. They had a bad incident there, so the suicide rate is high in that area. So hopefully I can go talk to them and help them put life in another perspective and change some lives. So we'll be following stuff like that, comedy shows, and other wounded veterans.
Tell us about some of the public speaking that you do, Bobby. Where do you do it? And is it, I know primarily you do speak to veterans. Do you speak primarily wounded veterans, or just fill us in about it?
Yeah, I speak to all kinds of different groups because it's about being a human. You don't have to be a veteran to go through a hard time in life, right? So if I can help put life in another perspective for anybody. So I talk to businesses, colleges, high schools, veterans, and first responders like I'm doing now. And then I also have my own nonprofit where I bring veterans in and we teach them outlets to deal with life, because I found that outlets really help. Whether for me, obviously comedy writing, I like going kayaking, surfing. So we do all kinds of neat stuff like that with veterans to teach them an outlet. So when they're alone, if they need to write it down or go out in the garage and make a knife out of a railroad spike, they can learn stuff like that with my foundation.
Tell me the name of the foundation, please.
Forging Forward, because I learned to forge forward through the fire. So I want to teach others how to forge forward now.
You know, but let's face it, when you're at your lowest point, sometimes you can't see through that, right? You can't see through the flames because all you can think about is, I'm never going to get better. I feel awful. I'm just laying here. Nobody cares. And as you said, you're a burden. What got you through?
The strongest thing that got me through right away is that my children were there. I had to be strong for my children. I knew that someday I'm going to hold my grandchildren. So when I really needed to pick me up, I just thought of my children, and that made me stronger. I thought about my family, my mother, my sister that were there supporting me the whole time. So all those helped me. But as we know in life, you're going to have ups and downs all the time. And so I share with people today, once you've kind of made it through that down and you come up again, you're going to have a down again. But at least now each time you do that, you know you can make it out. And that's what helps for the next one. But I tell them when they're down, go all the way down, right? Let it all out. Get mad, punch stuff. Not just anybody, like close in a closet, a punching bag. in an area that is controllable, so it doesn't happen on road rage. Let it out in a controllable environment. Whether you got to cry, beat up on some clothes in your closet, give yourself that pity pot timeout, and just let it all out, so that when you do come back up, you have all that off of you, and you're a lot lighter, and you'll come up higher.
So tell me, Nony, you're going to be here, you're filming him, and the process is basically you probably, of course, telling your story through the documentary and then interspersing it, right, with you speaking. Tell us a little bit about what we'll be seeing in the documentary.
Basically, I don't want like people in the U.S. Hear my awful accent, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna use that. But so basically, what the movie called "Live Well Done," because Bobby's title as a comedian is the Well Done Comedian. So we kind of use that name and take it like in a different level. But what we are gonna do is Bobby have a bunch of group of support group that's gonna travel with us, as Bobby is the leader of that group, like in the real life, and we're gonna go through that road trip to eventually to have like the big show, the big event, like kind of a Netflix special-ish. So that's basically it with the group, with Bobby's friends. As I said, Bobby is the leader. It's a really special, unique kind of group that I love, the most. One of them is Bobby's partner in life and his manager, which is like, she's one of my best friends, and I love her to death. And I love all of them, but it all starts with Bobby. Bobby is kind of he's the alpha guy, and it's going to be him and his story, definitely not mine. And then we definitely look for a support, and Bobby will tell you more about that, what we're looking for right now.
Go ahead, Bobby. I'll have you take it from there.
Yeah, so we'll be taking this group with me as my journey as I do this stuff. So you'll see other veterans in the group and how they deal with everything too, because it's not just about just me. It is my story. I lived well done, but it's the fact that I get to talk to others. I get to hear their stories. Sometimes I'm the reminder, and sometimes I need them to remind me. It's a team. We fight as a team. We heal as a team.
That's a great, actually, that's terrific to hear that, because you're right. You help each other get through this. But the PTSD and the trauma that so many veterans go through, what do they need? Because I'm really not sure that we're doing enough for our veterans. What would you say, Bobby? Because you would know.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people have a problem with the VA. There's a lot of red tape with the VA. because now they're not only helping all these veterans from 20 years of war. It's a lot to catch up on, and they're still trying to catch up on Vietnam. Thankfully, because of this war, some of the Vietnam veterans are getting help they should have got a long time ago. So it's good to see that, but there is still a lot of red tape and paperwork to go through to get that done. Luckily, the civilian world with their nonprofits are doing amazing things to help us too. The hospital is going to do so much to save our lives, but to keep this other stuff going, we need the nonprofits. We need the civilian side to help pay for this stuff, these outlets, these adventures. And if we don't do it, we team up with another nonprofit that does do it. It's not all about us. We can't save everybody with this one nonprofit. The nonprofit's got to work together through different missions to complete the whole package of helping everybody heal.
So you use comedy very often to sort of help heal yourself and to help others see sort of the humor in life, or perhaps your situation, theirs. Were you always a funny guy, Bobby? Or is this just something that you use to help yourself heal?
Yeah, I always thought I was a funny guy. Like, I'm always that funny guy with friends. Spur of the moment, sarcastic to what the situation is. But I never thought I could be the stand-up comedian guy. Like, those guys are smart. Like, the way they twist life, the way they see it. Then my occupational therapist talked me into it. I didn't plan on doing it, but my occupational therapist said, "You're so funny, you should do stand-up comedy." And I was like, "It's not going to work. It's not going to work." We have a dark sense of humor here at the hospital. We're all veterans, hospital staff, same thing. To do their job, they got to have that dark sense of humor and compartmentalize stuff so they can laugh at it. But the general public will laugh at me. What happened? I didn't think it was going to work. So that was 12 years ago. I went to prove her wrong.
Wow.
And obviously, I'm still trying to prove her wrong that it won't work.
Look, you're terrific, because I've looked up quite a bit of your stuff.
For a second?
Oh, yeah. I love how you're raising your hand. How lovely. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm a good boy. Yeah, I know. So if you want to support us, so we have an Indiegogo campaign that we will love to get any help. It's going to be from $1 to $5 to whatever you guys want. And it's called Live Well Done on Indiegogo. If you want to help us to make that story and see that, and I think it's a really important, and it will happen, in any case. If you guys want to help, please go to Indiegogo. Bobby will say that after me as well. And again, thank you.
I'll repeat that. I'll repeat that in English. Live Well Done on Indiegogo. We also have livewelldone.com, the website that has the link to Indiegogo and more stuff about the stories if you want to learn more about it.
Right. And the funds basically so that you can make the film. And are any proceeds going toward any veteran causes or anything like that?
Well, it'll allow us to help, by the way. None of the proceeds from the film are going that way right now because we need every dime to make the film. But of course, it gets the story out there and will help us raise money for the other nonprofits with that, for sure.
Right. Including your own, that you, you work with so many others to do that. Gentlemen, anything else you want to sort of touch upon? And by the way, I'd like to say, Bobby, you've performed at Brad Garrett's comedy, I think, club in Vegas, the Hollywood Improv in Los Angeles. And Nony, you're a very accomplished filmmaker yourself. If you both want to just give a little bit of a shout out to some of the work you've done, this is the moment.
I would like to talk about Bobby, if that's okay with you.
About
Bobby. I don't want to talk about myself, if that's okay. I want to shout out.
You're a very humble man, but go ahead.
So I had a call meeting today with an investor in Minnesota. He called me, saw the thing on Indiegogo, and then he reached me out on Facebook, and we had a call. And he said oh, it's a great story, da 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 da. And I was kind of trying to understand what does this guy want from me. And he knows the story of Bobby so well, and he's an admirer of Bobby, a guy from Minnesota. I have no idea who he is. He definitely want to help. I told him, you can reach out to our partners as well. So it's amazing for me to see how Bobby can reach out to so many people, so many places, and you have no idea about how many calls and emails I get about Bobby, and it's all because of him.
I'm not sure if we lost Bobby. All of a sudden, I don't see him up on our screen, and I'm going to ask my engineer, is everything okay over there?
We did lose him, but oh, there he is.
There he is. But look, now he's on his side. Can you sort of tilt your camera a little bit? Look, this happens with Zoom. I don't sweat about it. It just happens, right? We lose people. They're in their cars. They're in Israel, whatever. So thanks for tuning back in, Bobby. We appreciate it. Any parting words for you? Because what I'd like to say is I believe you will help so many people through what you've been through. I guess this is your purpose in life, right? You were praying. You weren't sure you wanted to be alive. Well, God decided to keep you alive. And I guess this is why, right? This is your life's purpose. Oh, I lost your audio. Can you press your audio? Put that back on. Bobby, I'm talking to you. If you could put that back on.
Press the microphone.
Are you on? Back?
Oh, you hear me?
Yep, you're beautiful.
All right, I'm back on.
But I just want to end with that. So what I was saying was you have done enormously inspiring work and continue to do so. And I just believe personally that this will help. This film will help, and the work that you're doing will help so many others who are feeling depressed and deflated. And if you could just, finish our show a little bit and talk about that.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping to do. I've learned over the years by sharing my story that I can help people. It always sounds weird when I say, oh, you can hear my story. Let me talk to you. I can help you. Like that always just sounds weird, right? When he's saying that. But I get so many messages through my social media that even when I'm having a downtime, I get these messages that says, hey, I've been following you for 2 years. I've been battling cancer. And because of your stories, your jokes that you do, your videos, it makes me laugh every day. It puts a smile on my face. And that just makes me feel so good that knowing that by being just me, being silly me, trying to help others, that I get to help them through.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. Staff Sergeant Bobby Henline and filmmaker Nony Geffen. It's been an honor to talk to you both. We will also put out on all of our social media the fundraising information as well. You can even text me actually when you get off the phone, make sure that I have it all. And please look this up. This is important for our veterans, for their families, for so many people to see this film, because I personally believe when I see something that happens to someone else and I think, gosh, I'm not alone, it really helps. So thank you both for doing this. Thank you both for joining us. And you can find our show, Deborah Kobylt Live, on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, IGTV, and then, of course, on all audio platforms as well. So I think we just lost Bobby again. So thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.